Hey guys, Alicia and Kiri, hello. First one's here. Good evening to you. Good evening. I hope all is well in your neighborhood, in your area, in your state, and that you are doing well. So it's good to see you on here. Good to see you on here. Um, yes, Alicia, you were first. Oh, so good. So good. Um, yeah. How was your week? How was your weekend? We're start tonight with a whole new week and kind of, I think, was it Gardner Scott starts off it Monday mornings with a live but everything, but I kind of like kick it off for the evening for the week. So kind of fun to be able to do that. um, don't know who else is here. There's like, oh, are you guys, all of a sudden there's 0 people showing up here. Is anybody here? Um, so I hope that it's all coming through. Oh, it's buffering. Oh dear. Okay. Um, we've got a lot of weird weather going on. I know that's affecting it. So um, let me know if it gets too bad, and I may need to restart it or something. I don't see it freezing up on my end, so I'm not sure. Um, so good evening. Hello. I'm gonna check. Oh, I won't check right now, but. So yeah, if you're buffering, try to refresh. If that doesn't help, I know that we've just got. Okay, good. All right, Alicia, good. Um, yeah, if you're having a hard time, just refresh it. And there's just um, a lot of stormy weather going on out there that's interfering with things, and there's a lot of sun activity that's interfering with a lot of our internet connections and different things like that. Not just like right here, but what we get on the internet, it bounces off satellites. So I know satellites are getting affected right now. So there might be something there. But anyway, just let me know if things aren't working well. So, well, I had a good week. We had a kind of a mixed bag of weather, a little bit cooler, but we got some good rain on Friday. In 2 hours, we got almost 3 inches of rain. So it was like, yes, we got more in 2 hours that one evening than the previous like 5 months. So it was awesome. Things are green, and are forecasted for a string of like 6 or 7 days of rain. So, oh, thank you, Alicia. Yeah, it was just, we've done a lot of herb things, and there's certainly some more to do. But I know Teresa at Stringfield Ridge Farm is doing a lot of herb things too, and a lot of people are picking up on that, which is great. I'm very glad for that. But and I'll probably get back to some, but I've done a lot on the herbs. I've done over a year's worth, and so I thought this would be a nice kind of deviation, kind of somewhat in the same area of taking care of ourselves, but using a different deviation here. So, hey, Dave, good evening to you. You getting some rain now? Okay. Yes, we had a very humid day today. Very humid, and we were back up to the upper 80s, but I think it's supposed to cool down after this. So just want to let some people come in, and we'll get started in about 10 minutes on the thing. So, okay, great. Oh, that's good, Kiri. Yeah, if anybody else has any issues with buffering, just go ahead and refresh. And did you guys get the notice a half hour ahead? Because I send these things out in time, and I just don't know why Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. The games there are fun. It's really, really good. Who are we playing tonight? Well, I mean, I guess I could find out, but so yeah, it's right now 86 degrees. But that's what your first time. Oh wow. Okay. So that's why we only have 4 people here because the notifications aren't going out. But yeah, we're after tomorrow. Now, tomorrow's still supposed to be 85, but then we're in 60s and 70s for the highs, 50s for the lows. It's like and rain. So it'll be nice. It'll be really, really good. Oh, Dave, I'm glad you got it. Okay, good. That's good. Um, Weezer, what to say? Oh, I don't know the. Yes, I know. After all these 100-degree temperatures, it's gonna be so wonderful. Okay, so we're playing the Boston Red Sox. Nope. Wait a minute, it says Tuesday. I don't even show that there's a game tonight. You must be watching something else there. Are you Ricky? So, Chicken Patty 13, hello. Welcome. Hi, Patty. Just saying hello. You sat on the list, but no. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, you rest, and take care of yourself, and I'll be praying for you. Okay. If you need to talk or need anything, just mark on me, okay? And we'll get you taken care of. But yes, absolutely. There you go. So, what did I do this weekend? I worked. I worked and read and slept. So took a little bit of a rest time, but so I got one of my clients is an international ministry, and they've got a leadership conference, an international conference coming up in October, which I normally attend, and I'm hoping that I'll still be able to. But I do like I design out all of the promotional materials, everything for that. And we've done 4 books to get ready for that. And it's just been a lot of work. Lots and lots of work. So it's not quite winding down, but it's getting closer to, I mean, we're only, 6 weeks out. And so it's starting to wind down a little bit, but it's like all that last minute stuff. And I'm just like trying to make my way through it. So, what did I read? I'm reading through some Tom Clancy, Jack Ryan novels right now. So just kind of a total different thing and out there and kind of escape. And so it's kind of neat. So please pray for Buddy, friends. Dad fell today, breaking the hip. Oh no. Ooh. Hey, Macro Patty. Hello. Hello, Kathy and friends. It's kind of generic in there, so I can't tell which one it is. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, it's Patty. Well, hello. Hello to you. So, yeah. So what have you guys been up to? I want to find out. See, yeah, we've had stuff that's just been all over the place here. I've been in a lot of meetings, online meetings, like every day, a couple times a day. So it's been, like I said, a lot of business work this week. Haven't been able to get too much done. I harvested some things. I put one picture up on my Instagram, but Been harvesting some cherry tomatoes, cantaloupe, watermelon, strawberries, peppers. Um, I've got a lot of herbs that are ready that I need to get out there and do. So I've got a lot of dehydrating coming up I have to take care of. And so it'd be good. So you're debating on cannons of broccoli for soup in the winter. Ooh. Would you can it in like a chicken broth water of some sort so you could actually use that in the soup itself? Or would you just do it in water and then dump the water? Because you have all of those nutrients from the broccoli in there. I've never canned broccoli. That would be interesting. So it's been a while since you made bread. You're thinking about doing that? That would be good. It's just as the weather gets a little cooler, we start feeling like that. It's like soup, bread, stews, chili, all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't have to get that much cooler. It's like, just get me out of the hundreds and the 90s and the 80s. And it's like, okay, it's 70 degrees. Let's make soup and bread. I know. A friend gave you 2 teenage chicks. So you now have 4 chicks and 3 in the brooder. Okay. Well, very good. Oh, in a vegetable broth. Oh, there you go. That's good. Hey, Julie. Hello. Yep, that's true. Comfort foods. After all of our work all summer long, it's like, whew, it's getting cooler there, but for some reason I'm thinking of soups lately. Dreaming of fall. I know. And I've had so many leaves falling too. And we talked about leaves, last time? This time? I can't remember. But anyway, I've got bunching onions ready to harvest. My bulb onions did not do that well this year. It was just too hot and dry for a lot of the things that just didn't make it. And, when we have our 15 to 16 hour days of sunlight, like it's pretty intense. So there's some things that just didn't do quite as well as I was hoping, but you'll be driving. Oh, you be careful. Anyone have a corn chowder recipe that's gluten-free? You're giving a lot of corn on the cob. I don't have a recipe, but what could you substitute for? Well, you're not supposed to put flour in there anyway. Or, oh, you're not talking about canning it. Okay, I think just a regular one. You could try coconut flour. I would think would be a good one. Tapioca flour would be another you could do. So, hey, Michelle P. Hello, Miss T. Hi. Oh, hot Nebraska. Yes, I hear you. I have a great cornbread recipe that doesn't have corn in it, and comes from one of my favorite gluten-free cooking authors, a paleo author, Danielle Walker, and she has one that uses almond flour, a lot of almond flour, and it tastes just like cornbread. It is so good. It is so good. So, well, that's good to know, Heather. The almond flour works good. I didn't know if that would be too heavy and grainy or not, but if that works really good, that'd be super. Yeah, no, I love it when everybody can put in their 2 cents. That's so great. Okay. I started looking up all of this information on tree bark and everything, and it is so huge and so vast that I'm going to be breaking it up into parts. And some things, when I go into other parts for future weeks, I may repeat a few little things, but I think what I'm going to do, because I have like 50 different trees that I came across for utilizing for medicinals, and it's like way too much to try to cover in a half an hour here. So I'm just going to be breaking it up into bits, and instead of rushing through it, so that you guys can know that if there's one of these trees in your area, or you have it, then it'll make a little bit more sense to you. So anyway, use less money and let it hydrate well. Okay. Yeah, because it soaks up really, really, really well. So, oh, thanks, Patty. That's so sweet. So, tree bark, I was originally going in to look for, the medicinal uses of it and everything, but there are a whole lot of other uses that I had not even known about, which is really kind of cool. So, I'll give like a little bit of an overview there, and then we'll start on some of the trees and, the different types of trees. I wanted to focus on the bark, but some of these also have um, the other parts of the tree that you can use too, and what they'll do. So I might kind of include that in there, whether it's the leaves or the fruit or whatever it is. But I know I was wondering, Heather, what you're talking about. Use less money. Oh, that's great. But so anyway, as probably you all know, but I'll just put it out there anyway, that the bark is the outer covering of the tree, and it's like our skin. It adapts to protect the living tree from the environment, and it protects the delicate tissues of the inner tree from diseases and insect attacks. So, and as you know, that every tree has a whole different kind of bark. Some are smooth, some are rough, some are papery. It depends on the tree itself and what it is trying to protect, right? And the uses for it. And it's amazing the different kinds of trees, and some have thorns in them. I think the hawthorn tree, I believe the bark has thorns in it. And there's some others that they get really sharp. So and you've got the sycamore tree that's just really smooth, and you've got, so many different things. So it's oh, Nathan, you're going to get everybody in trouble here, I think last week you got timed out, I think, just because you did that. So, it's early, but you had an idea the other day. Maybe do a decoration exchange in November. I'll send you a decoration to put on your tree. Oh, well, that's kind of sweet, Alicia. That's a great idea. Thank you. When you feed cedar branches to the goats, they eat the bark. Yep. And see, the animals, they know what's good for them, right? Some tree bark is shaggy and you can make syrup from it. Locust trees, oh, it's a locust tree. Okay. There's a joke. Oh, I know. I might have to take your blue away, Nathan. But anyway, the bark itself, even though the tree is a living plant and organism and everything, is composed of non-living tissue on the outside. So the bark is a non-living tissue, and then living tissue on the inside. So again, it's like a skin, it protects it and everything. Jesus. But are we safe from you? Shag bark hickory. So there's so many different uses for it. So bark is most commonly used to make baskets. See, I always thought it was like just reeds and stuff, but they actually use bark. It says for hundreds of years, people from the Amazon basin harvested the fibers from tree bark. Bark was originally prepared by air drying and pounding it with a mallet on a smooth stone until it became supple. After it hardened, it was split into pliable long strips. The strips were then woven together to create baskets, containers, and an assortment of other objects. Bark was also used to create canoes and corks. The first Canadian canoes were made with paper birch bark. The canoes took many hours of manual labor to complete, and they proved to be incredibly durable. And it would have been light too. So, So beech bark, okay. The it says the process of cork making was much easier. First, the outer bark was removed without any tree damage. Next, the cork was boiled, stacked, and left outside to flatten for 3 weeks. So, anyway, there are different times of the year to remove the bark. So, I can't just say, a standard um, only this time of the year for this particular, every tree is a little bit different for the medicinals that need to be used. So, but in general, you want to harvest in the fall so that the tree has time to heal up wherever you've taken that bark off. So, um, yes, beech is one that I will be getting to, Nathan. So, absolutely, thank you. Um, so they've used bark for shelters, for all kinds of different things. You can make, it says, in certain areas of the world, bark was used for creating extravagant clothing. In South America, Africa, Japan, and Southeast Asia, they were all pioneers in the creation of bark clothing. And I've actually seen like a little museum of um, of gorgeous, gorgeous robes and different things like that were made from different bark. And, some were even like from pineapple husks. And I mean, just all kinds of things. It was just amazing that we did that. So, curious, that would last really long too, wouldn't it? Hey, Carol, hello. And Pam, hi. Glad that you guys are here. So bark was made into belts, headdresses, and caps. It was produced and manufactured into capes, blankets, masks, and other articles of clothing. Said wearing bark clothing was a sign of wealth, and it was strictly worn by the elite upper class. So if they wore trees, did the lower class wear animal skins? I wonder. It's like I'm wearing a tree. Look at my tree. It's like, yes, this is a beautiful tree that I'm wearing. Yes, Heather, they are so creative. For the things that that they use. We come now to thinking that, oh, we have cotton, wool, and rayon, nylon, that kind of thing. It's like those are the only materials we have to be able to work with. Well, what did they do for thousands of years without the manufacturing of rayon and nylon and all that? Cotton's been around for a long time, wool too, but not nearly as long as trees. So, hey, Albany Mountain Homestead, hi. Like those toilet paper dresses they wore to prom. Miss T, that's true. Another form of a tree, right? So, currently the uses of bark are both endless and pragmatic. I'm not sure why that is, but it says that there's an enormous amount of research being conducted in the medical field to determine the benefits of bark. Researchers recently declared that anti-inflammatory compounds called phenolics that are found in the bark of Scotch pine may prove effective in fighting arthritis. And we'll get to one of those later on, but the Scotch pine is the number one selling Christmas tree. So when your Christmas tree is all done, if you have a live tree or something, peel that bark off and save as much as you can from your tree and let it keep on giving, right? Especially if you have arthritis. But I suppose if you have arthritis, you can have an artificial tree, but I don't know. So there's a bunch of different things with the pine. And then willow is another main one. And we'll get to all that. It says bark has become a necessity in the production of clothing and recreational objects. It's woven into capes, blankets, rain ponchos, in mats. Canoes also are now producing a synthetic equivalent of birch bark. So they're trying that. Anyway, so one of the oldest uses for tree medicine dates back to 3000 BC. So I know, Heather, right? It's like apparently they got really creative with a whole bunch of different things. So yep, Dave. There's also plenty of things in there that you can have food too. So oh, bye, Simply Pam. Thanks for coming. That's true, Nathan. Absolutely. So okay, a sharp knife for that, for stripping those trees, or a hatchet or something like that. So, and again, the indigenous tribes knew how to use all of that to form poultices, tinctures, salves, washes, make tea, different things like that. So there's all kinds of things, but you have to know what part of the tree to use in which way. If it has to be external use, internal, all that kind of stuff. So Michelle P. Moss is supposed to be good too. I don't think I've ever tried it, but I hear that. A draw knife is a perfect tool for it. Okay. Awesome. Nathan, would you do me a favor and can you find a sample of that online, whether it's on Amazon or something, and then put a link up? That would be great. What a draw knife looks like, so people would know what that is. So anyway, for harvesting, for the adventurous type of person, foraging bark from local trees for medicine is an option. Precautions must be taken when collecting bark from a tree. Like the human skin, again, the tree's bark is the outer covering for the vital processes that take place within. Without the skills to harvest bark safely, a tree can become wounded and die. So very small pieces of the bark should be removed from a living tree. Now, if it's dead standing, obviously you can take whatever you want, but just take little bits. And that's where it's good to go into a woods of some sort, where you could take, 2 or 3 little bits from one tree and go to another tree and take little bits. Don't take, a 3-foot section off of it or something like that. Because think of a tree that gets struck by lightning. When it gets hit and it's like sizzled all the way down, that turns in, it just blackens and it can kill the tree. If it doesn't die, it's very, very wounded in that area and much weaker. So, hi, Donna. That's what I'm picturing. Yes, absolutely. Albany Mountain. Absolutely. So, collecting bark from branches and trees that have fallen naturally, like I said, some dead trees, is actually recommended for any novice forager. So, but when harvesting the bark of a live tree, now it is vital not to what we call girdle the trunk, which means taking it off all the way around in the circumference. So what that does, if you remove, even if it's a 1-inch thing, if you go all the way around a tree, that prevents the flow of nutrients from the leaves, and it results in the death of the tree. So you don't want to do that. You want to just take little strips off, and if you're able to, somehow patch it up. And if you have like a tree wound spray, or maybe even putting some mud on it or something, I don't know, but it's something that can help. So, hey, Thrifty VG, hello. Oh, hi, Mom. With the handle on both ends, you can draw it to yourself. Okay. Oh, no worries, Donna. I know that happens. So the best method for getting any bark off your tree, really, especially if it's a live tree, is to selectively prune some of the branches and then take the bark from there. So, and they don't have to be, 6-inch diameter branches. It could be, 2-inch diameter or something, but just selectively do that so you're not rooting the tree. Because if you want, thank you, Nathan, I appreciate that. If you want to be able to continue to get bark from the tree and have that medicinal source, you want to make sure that you take care of your source, right? And because trees take a long time to grow. So our first tree is going to be an alder. Now, these aren't necessarily in everybody's area. Sometimes they're called by a different name in different countries or even different areas of the country. But this is the information that I got. All of this that I've been sharing with you, I have the links in the description below the video. So you guys can go back and get those and have them. And I would encourage you to, make a document of them or something, print them up so that you have that information. But an alder, you can use the leaves and the bark to make a tea, and that helps benefit tonsillitis and fever. So you can make a tea to help wash wounds. It's an astringent, and what it does, the alder tree, it helps to draw the edges of the wounds to get the wound together. So, if you have a gaping wound, it helps to bring that skin together, which is pretty cool. The leaves can be used as a poultice to help dry up breast milk. Fresh alder sap can be applied to any area to relieve itching. So if you have, mosquito bites or something like that, whatever, just fresh alder sap if you have an alder tree. So, hey there, Morgan. Hello. I caught your video earlier today, and I know that's a tough thing. But are you still down in the tropics? So shagbark the tree will just shoot off of it, and you can supposedly make syrup from it. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a super glue. Absolutely. Order any pizzas later. So to make the astringent from the alder bark, you can you put it into a boiling water and steep a handful of shredded bark for 10 minutes. You cool the tea and use it to rinse out scrapes and cuts. So it's a great astringent, helps with itching, helps with tonsillitis and fever, all that kind of stuff. So that's really, really good. Oh, good. Okay. I was wondering about that because, you wouldn't want to let the world know that, Allison is home alone. So I figured that was probably it. But you're better than I am. My videos are about, 8 months behind. But I'm trying to get there. So, okay. So that's the alder. I'm going to be kind of going alphabetically here because that's how I found things. So we have the apple tree. Now, a lot of people have apple trees. If you don't have one in your yard, I'm sure that you know somebody who does. And you can ask if you could, especially if they're going to be pruning their tree back and they're just throwing out those branches, ask if you can grab them and do that. So apple branches are also great to make as pellets for your smoker and stuff like that too. So don't rule that one out. But the bark of the root of the apple tree. So you don't want to take it off the main tree, but you have to go down to the root and only use one root at a time. Don't go, dig away, expose the roots, and then, take 4 or 5 of them, but only do one. So you kind of need almost an orchard if you need to get a bunch of things. So what is the check mark in front of some of the wrenches? Oh, Alicia, that means that Morgan has, is it over 100,000 or is it over 250,000? I can't remember what that mark is for. But on If you weren't a moderator, it would just show like a gray block over his name. 100,000. Okay. So you've done so well, Morgan. You really have. I started watching you when you were at about 8,000. Now look where you are. You've just done so well. It's because you're such a great storyteller. You really are. So, okay, so the apples. So you want to use the root of the apple tree and get the bark off of there and just peel a little bit back and everything. As we know, apples themselves are rich in magnesium, iron, potassium, vitamins B and C. So anyway, when you peel the root, steep it in boiling water or make it into a tincture. And this is a great fever reliever. So only, like I said, peel a little bit. So now the apples themselves are interesting. It does happen quick. So, hey, Glenn, hello. This is something I didn't know about apples. Okay, when you have a regular apple and it's unpeeled, so you're leaving the peel on there of the apple and you're stewing them, it becomes a laxative. You know, stewed apple with the peel on. When you take the peel off and you stew the apples, it relieves diarrhea. So there's something with the skin that reverses what the actual apple is doing. So it's like, hey Michelle, pellets. Is that what I was trying? Did I say that? No, but yeah, you can take, apple branches and just cut them up into little pieces. You can have them as when you're smoking and stuff like that. So it really helps. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of other benefits to apples, as we know, but that was the one thing. So take it from the root, make a tincture, or steep in boiling water, and that helps to reduce fever. So we have an ash tree. Now I've got a huge ash tree in my yard, so I am going to try to see if I can grab some bark off of there. Because I have branches dropping all the time, and the emerald ash borer has not attacked my tree yet, so I just kind of keep holding my breath each year on that. So if your regular stew half peels, oh, there you go. That could work, Nathan. So just know that if you're making it with the peels on, you might have problems there. So an ash tree, it's a really tall tree. Mine is, 50 feet high, something like that. The compound leaves are composed of 5 to 9 or 7 to 11 leaflets. So you have like a branch and all these like leaflets coming off. So the bark is very tight and is regularly furrowed, which means, the little indentations going through in the bark and everything. And it's pretty much like a straight up and down type of bark. And it's very hardy and continues to grow out each year and everything. So it's really kind of cool. The seeds off of them are kind of canoe paddle shaped. That's what they call them. And they're called keys. And these keys hang in clusters until they're brown and they drop off in the fall. And so if you have any type of ash tree, you know that all of a sudden there's this whole pile of droppings underneath and it's pretty interesting. The tender new spring growth of the twig tips and the leaves. So the twig tips, the new growth on that, and the leaves can be simmered to make a laxative tea that will benefit gout, jaundice, and rheumatism. So all the wonderful things you can get from drinking a lot, apparently. Gout, rheumatism, jaundice. So anyway, those would be a lot of like liver issues and everything. So laxative tea, apparently it would help to detox your liver. So Anyway, that's ash. Now, avocado tree, I don't have those in Minnesota. I'm not sure exactly where they grow, but I would think it would be very tropical um, type of area. And I don't know if there's a certain part of the world, if South America or the Mediterranean. I'm not sure where they grow. If anybody knows, that'd be so great. But avocado bark treats dysentery. So and dysentery is a very common, I don't want to say common, but it's something that travelers get. They call it traveler's diarrhea. So if you find some avocado trees when you're traveling, and you can trim some bark from them, make a tea from the bark using about an ounce of bark in a cup of water in 1 cup. So it's 8 ounces of water into 1 ounce of bark, and steep it for 10 minutes and then drink that to help ease your diarrhea. So if you have an avocado tree, dysentery, soldier's disease, that I'm not surprised. So, but if you know, so wherever you can go for avocado trees, now using the fruit of the avocado would not be the same. So you don't want to like take the nut or the skin or something like that, because that's going to do something completely different. But anyway, the bark of the avocado. So, are you guys still with me? They're native to south central part of Mexico. Oh, good to know. Okay. South central part of Mexico. So like Mexico City and south of that. Thanks, Miss T. I appreciate that. Tropical and subtropical. So South and Central Florida, Southern California, Mexico, parts of Louisiana. Okay. Awesome. Oh, Nathan, you're getting me trouble. Eli's not on here as much, so you're stepping in, huh? Oh, thank you, Virginia. I'm so glad that you're still here. Thank you. All right. So you have a balsam tree. So balsam. The only thing I know really about balsam is it makes wonderful lightweight wood that you use for like model airplanes and things like that. Plus it, you know, or is that balsa? Is balsa the same as balsam? Oh, I need you guys to help my brain here tonight. So sounds like all this bark treats the best. Not this one. Balsam is for toothaches. So I'm going to hit the other part of the body here. So if you cut several shallow lines in the bark of a balsam, it's a balsam birch, so maybe that's what, but they said a balsam tree. Cut several shallow lines and then collect the rosin that oozes out. And then that can be applied to your teeth and gums that are causing problems. So it's almost like the Numbs It for babies and stuff like that, which is so great. Oh, there you go. So anyway, so that's if you have a balsam tree nearby and you have babies that are cutting teeth, or you have a toothache or something like that, all of these are just so great to know in case of those times where, we just don't have access to what we normally do have access to. And so just going to put it that way. But so these are things like, okay, I have little children. I've got babies that are going to be cutting teeth. I'm pregnant or whatever. Not me, but I mean, you're talking, people. I'm way too old for that. But anyway, that's the, these are things to know, to go, okay, I may need use for that. And so I'm going to check to see if there are any of those trees in my area. And so that I know that if that is something that I'm going to need, I know where to go for that. So anyway, So, all right, we have beech trees, Beech, ones that Nathan was talking about before. So, a beech tree has a distinctive, smooth gray bark that resembles the skin of an elephant. So, whereas the ash was very, very rough with furrows going vertically and everything, here you've got one that looks like the skin of an elephant. And trees they're just so amazing, the differences that they have for what they need. And of course, in whatever climate they're dealing with too. So, an ash tree has to be hardy here because, you're dealing with 30 and 40 below zero temperatures. So, you need to do that. But so the beech bark is used as a tea for lung problems, including tuberculosis. It is also cleansing to the blood, though pregnant women should avoid it. Its beech bark tea is a good wash for poison ivy. The leaves are used in poultices for burns and for frostbite. So both ends of the spectrum. So if you burn it or you get frostbite, it's going to take care of, help to heal that. And beech nuts are okay as well. Yep. Beech nut is used in chewing tobacco. Beech trees. Yep, birch. So we're talking about a beech right now, not birch. I will get to birch in another point, but beech are perfect to carve stuff in because they heal up gorgeously and stay etched forever. Cool. That's good to know. That is great to know. So to make a tea, you want to have some shredded bark. So any of these things, when they say shredded bark, you don't want to just, peel off a 1 by 4 inch section off of a tree and just put that hunk in there. You want to take it and break it up because then it releases more of the nutrients and the things that are good about that bark. So anyway, shred it up, put it in boiling water for 10 minutes, and then you use roughly a quarter cup of beech bark per 1 cup of water. So whereas one of the others had 8 ounces of water to 1 ounce of this, so this would be 8 ounces of water to 4 ounces of birch bark, so quarter cup. So it kind of gives you an idea of the strength that's needed for that. So, all right. Let me see here. I will do 2 more and then we'll be through our B's, A and B. I told you there's so many and so much information. So do one real quick, black cherry trees. So black cherry bark is great for fighting coughs. So wild cherry bark has traditionally been used to treat lung problems like colds, bronchitis, and whooping cough. You can create a cough syrup by distilling the liquid created by steeping the bark and adding honey. So take your bark, steep it in water, okay, add honey, and then you take a spoonful to treat a bad cough. And so you've got your black cherry bark for that, which is pretty cool. Then we have birch. So where we had beech before, we have birch now. And there are lots of different kinds of birch trees. There's a white birch, paper birch, river birch is what I have. You have yellow birch. There's various kinds, but they all pretty much kind of do the same thing. So, okay, so it's good to know to stay away from the leaves, but you can use the bark. Okay. So birch trees have thin, papery bark that peels easily. So again, it's great to dry it and have it for fire starter. It's it's great that the a smoking wood. Oh, that would be good too. Yep. Birds love to use it to build their nests with and different things. So many different colors, from white and reddish brown to gold and gray and yellow. And but the sweet birch or a black birch and the yellow birch both have nice wintergreen flavor in their twigs and bark. So a birch leaf or a twig tea is a laxative, but it also helps to heal mouth sores, kidney and bladder issues, and gout. It helps to wash through everything there. Helps rheumatic pains. If you make a tea from, that's the wrong one here. If you make a strong concoction of the twigs, bark, and leaves all together, you add it to your bath. It helps to relieve eczema, psoriasis, and any other skin problems like boils and stuff like that. Hey, Broussard. Is this Amy or is it Brent? So, hello. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed you way up there too. Hello. Broussard. Oh, where am I here? It says modern medicine has recently confirmed that I'm not going to say this right, betulinic acid, which is formed in birch sap, has anti-tumor properties that help fight cancer. So yes, get the sap from the tree, get some, not just some maple trees, but you can actually make some really good birch syrup from the sap in there. But if you tap it and you want to make a medicine out of it, you can do that to help fight cancer, which is really, really cool. So to fight any skin problems like eczema or psoriasis, you can add 2 to 3 cups of the shredded bark and any twigs or anything to a gallon of boiling water. Simmer it for 10 minutes, and then strain that mixture, add it to your bath, and soak in it for at least 15 minutes. And you can repeat that every few days. So it's not like you want to do it 2 or 3 times a day or every day, but just like maybe every 3 days or something, every 4 days. So, anyway, if you have issues like that and need to have some problems with it, I can't help but think of Jason on Sow the Land. About the issues that he has with that. It might be really, yep. leave the ants out of there. So, oh, you're at the firehouse. Awesome. You guys are amazing here. Thank you. So we'll stop there. We did A and B today. I hope you guys learned something. And if you have any of those trees near you, now I've got birch and ash of the ones that we've talked about. So, and apple. So right in my yard. So, give me some good things to think about and to figure out what I want to do. So that's true, Albany Mountain. And, I can understand that when it's so painful, you don't want to be bathing every day too. So thanks, Thrifty Fiji. Yeah, there's also the links below the video too for anything that you want to read up on or do that. So I put quite a few of them in there. So let's have my garden tips is to try to go to yard or garage sales and try to find like used T-posts, different things like that, any other garden materials that you might need, and try to get them really cheap. Try to get them because it's hard to find them in the stores, different things like that. So just look around. There might be somebody who used, who bought 100 feet of weed barrier, and they only use 25 feet of it, and they're going, I don't know what to do with the rest of this, so it's going in a garage sale. So you might come across something nice like that, and really, really helpful. So, and then my prep tip for the night is try to get a really good tree guidebook and find out what kind of trees you have in your immediate area. Learn what they look like in the winter and the summer. Be able to identify them when everything's bare. I mean, it's easy to identify like a maple and an oak when the leaves are on the trees because of the shapes of the leaves. But in the middle of winter, if you're walking through the woods, to be able to identify them just from looking at the bark, how they stand, what they look like and everything. And I've seen a lot of people online being able to do that, in different YouTube videos. And I'm just like, I wish I could do that. So that is kind of one of the skills that I want to try to learn, and to be able to identify things in winter and summer. So to identify them by the leaves, identify them by the bark, and how the trees look. So thanks, Patty. Appreciate that very much. So try to find a book that can help guide you through what's in your area. And so that'd be... Thanks, Patty. Appreciate that. You had some great tree books, but they got damaged with water mildew. Oh, no. Oh, I know. It's a pine and maple trees. You have one maple tree in your backyard. Okay. There are two, maybe three maples across the street from me on a property that the guy's hardly ever there. So I could always ask him if I could at least collect some things or something, or branches or whatever. I have elm. I've got pine. I've got ash and apple, apricot, lilac. And so anyway, I've got a few things here, but so anyway, it's good to find out, what you need. Again, like I said, what kind of things you need for your life and for your medical situations and your different things that you have, and then find where those trees are around in your area. And even if there's like a little grove somewhere, or some forest or something that would be nearby, it's worth taking a trek out and going and hunting and doing a little field trip. So I think that'd be great. You're welcome, Albany. I appreciate that. So your kids did forestry and 4-H and learned a lot, but you forget. I know. There's so much to know. So much. And so anyway. Oh, that's so great, Alicia. Well, you guys, thank you so much. I want to thank all my moderators for being here, all the things that you did. Thanks, Michelle. And I appreciate you guys being here. What tree is that? Oh, okay. Is a field guide available for Arbor Day? That's awesome. Thank you, Miss T. Appreciate that. Good to know. I'm going to I'm going to copy that. So you guys, thank you. You have a great week. And as you know, we only covered 2 out of 26 of the letters in the alphabet here. So there will be a lot more this fall yet. Not necessarily every week, but we'll cover a lot on the trees. So take what you've learned today in your A's and B's, and kind of study it and try to figure some things out. See what you can do. All right, you guys, take care. Thank you so much for being here. I love y'all, and just God bless, and always have hope. All right, good night.